What is up, everybody? Live in Knoxville, Tennessee. We are here at the Best Western, and I might say the best room we have stayed in a year that Jamie and I have been on the road. It is a little musty in here, but other than that, no bullet holes. It seems like a safe neighborhood. I think we've hit the jackpot semi with this one, but super excited to be with you guys today. We are just ending our day. We just got some dinner. We're back at the hotel. And before we kind of like chill for the night, we wanted to jump on and talk about what happened today. So it's weird with Jamie behind me, but then I can see her in front of me.
Yeah.
But Kenneth the Lab says it's the East Coast. It's all a little musty. Yeah. Okay. Well, so we started the day with a couple team events, and I guess we're going to jump right into this. Dinner was great. We went to Outback Steakhouse, by the way. Got some steak and chicken. It was really good. Got some Brussels sprouts. Jamie got steak and chicken and stuff.
Steak. We're really expanding our horizons.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow night we'll try something more local.
Yeah.
But yeah, got nourished. It was a long day without food at the venue. We were living on beef jerky and water. So, but that got us through.
Yeah.
So we started with team events this morning. We missed the first team event.
Sure did.
As I stepped in a hole on the way into the venue and thought I lost my ACL, MCL, and my ankle. But all is well. All is well. And we got into the venue, finally found where we could be for press, got a tour, and then event 2 was lining up, which was the lift. So we missed the first event. We talked to Coach Krispy Kreme. He said that it was pretty much an all-out battle between Peak 360 and 8th Day.
No, 8th Day was in heat. He said basically 8th Day set a blistering pace out of heat 1 all by themselves, and then Peak 360 was chasing them down, chasing their time down.
Okay. So Peak 360 wins the event, which will be probably the theme of the day. So we did that event. Then we got settled. We found a really cool place to get some content, and we were close to the door to get the ramp, which you guys saw on our Instagram, the ramp that they had to run up to get out onto the course. And what you saw was the first part of the incline. So they came out of the venue on the loading docks, up that ramp where Jamie was capturing the content. Then they made a left-hand turn and still had to go up for another 20 feet.
Yeah.
After the turn, and then it levels off. And then they would run through Vendor Village, around that, and then down the hill on the other side of the venue, come around, and then back in at the loading docks down below. So pretty cool little track.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with the second team event.
Yeah,
so
you jumped on me.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Long drive yesterday. So our ramp shots were awesome. Haven't heard anyone else get any of the ramp footage. There were other photographers and content creators on the ramp, so I'm sure you'll see more stuff out there.
Yeah. It'll be coming.
Yeah. But they were definitely out there capturing the stuff. We were not the only ones. So let's finish with this individual event, and we'll get back to teams because I want to give them their due because they're only here for a couple days and then they're gone. So anyway, we started with the women.
Yep.
First heat goes out. Kenneth brings up Ellie Hiller, said the incline was about 50 paces for her.
Okay. Gosh,
Fair.
I almost feel like it might have been more than that.
Yeah, I would have thought that too. but we start with Ellie and Brooke Wells at a blistering pace for heat 1. Brooke,
as well as I want to say Elena Savage was in that group for the first 2 rounds.
did she have the tape around her ankle
correct.
or her calf the whole time?
Yes, I have the start, and it is there at the beginning.
Okay, because she definitely died off fast, and she did have her calf wrapped, so that it may have been a re-injury to that. Brooke, to me, never really slowed down. She came in from the run, immediately went to the bar, did her 10 clean and jerks, and immediately left. There was no transition time for her. Ellie Hiller ran well, but the clean and jerks ate her up.
Yeah.
She started off strong, and then by the end, she was getting no rep on the clean and jerks. And actually, a couple people passed her.
Yeah.
At the end of that race, just on the 10 clean and jerks.
Yep.
Which was sad to see. We were really rooting for her. Then the big show came out. Big number 1 heat with the battle between Tia Claire Toomey and Haley Adams, and it did not disappoint. They were pretty much neck and neck the entire race until the very end of the 5th round. Tia had gotten a little more space on her on the final run.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say a little more space, maybe 10 more feet.
Yep. It's about right.
They get to the barbell, and Tia's probably got 3 reps in before Haley gets there. But the baller that she was, she continued to go touch and go, even though she did not have to completely dominate that event, because Haley could not go touch and go at that point. She was consistently doing her singles just like she had the entire race, but Tia went to another gear and went full on baller and unbroken 10 reps to finish.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Miss Latimer?
I mean, I feel like Tia did exactly what we all thought she was going to do. She's clearly back, but I am incredibly impressed with Haley's performance. I thought she looked happy, cool, calm, composed. She looked like she was enjoying herself out there. We know Haley likes to run, so it was like what couldn't have been a better event to start the weekend off with, and a second, 10-ish seconds behind Tia. Incredible.
And I would say she was calm, cool, and composed and happy after the event as much as she was before.
Yeah.
Waving to the crowd, really kind of soaking it in and really enjoying the moment, which was fun to see.
Yeah. That whole heat was just so fast. Like, I mean, looking back at the leaderboard, when we got back to the room, I was trying to like look back and just digest everything. And I felt like heat 1 did good. Like, especially those first like 3-4 girls, I was like, well, they did great. And then you pull up the leaderboard and you're like, this didn't even go well. Like, I think only 2 people are in the top 10 from heat 1. So it just like starts dropping off. So that second heat was just crazy fast. Sort of sucks for someone like Brooke. Could the other heat have changed that event for her? Who knows? She said she started out hot. Might have been worse to start out even hotter. So I think she ran her own race and correctly. And I think, in my opinion, that kind of transfers through to the men as well.
I think it goes a step further to say, we've talked about reseeding. Yeah. It matters what heat you're in. And we saw that today.
Yeah.
Really good people or teams were completely affected because of the heat. They had to run their race. If Brooke was in that race with Kira Napoli or not Kira Napoli.
She wasn't with,
yeah. I can't, Danielle and, gosh, who else?
Who's 5th? I don't know.
Yeah. She would have been able to run with them and to go toe to toe with them on the clean and jerks at the end, because it was really a matter of grit and who was willing to try to go touch and go at the end.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy to me. And I mean, you've seen this in the other heats and you know exactly what's going to happen. It is crazy to watch someone you were like, oh, she's got third wrapped up and then implodes on and gets 10th in the heat just because of 10 clean and jerks and somebody able to touch and go and somebody having to take 7 seconds of rest in between each rep. Like that time difference, if you could have slowed your run down for 30 seconds and gotten your heart rate under control, the game planning in that workout is critical. Like you can lose a minute on that last barbell.
So Denise, she actually beat Amanda Barnhart, even not being in the same heat. It was the Danielle Brandon, and forgive me, I'm down to one screen, so I don't have like the leaderboard up with me, but there was a race at the end between about 2 or 3 girls with Danielle Brandon and a few others. I do have my phone, I guess. And I think if Brooke would have been in that race, she could have done some damage at that point.
Oh, it was Caroline Stanley. Remember?
Yeah. Caroline Stanley and Danielle Brandon went toe to toe and just
Emma, yeah.
And Emma
Lawson.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, those 3. If Brooke would have been with them, she had a shot to beat at least one of them. But not being in that heat was really tough for her. Jess is in the chat. Hey, wish I was there with you guys.
We wish you were here too.
Yeah.
We need a professional photographer.
Amen to that. But Holly Dugan is making lemons out of lemonade that we send her. So we highly appreciate that. What was obvious though, and why the heats matter, heat 2 was so much faster than heat 1. So much faster across the board. It was crazy. And I think if without the reseeding at the end of this weekend, it's going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Who impressed you in that event?
Probably Amanda Barnhart. I didn't, when I opened up the leaderboard, I honestly didn't expect to see her. Like, I thought she was further back than that. So I don't know if it was that last barbell or what got her those places. And I expected her to be slower on the running. So yeah, she's kind of on my like bubble list of making it. Like, I've been curious to see how she's going to hold up. And I think she ran really well. So yeah, that's probably
my surprise was Paige Demenza. Even though I thought she would do really well this weekend, running has never been like a home run for her.
Mm-hmm.
She looked really good. And a shout out from Heat 1, Ashley Wozni, who has never been a runner, really held her own in that heat and looked really good in the run.
Yeah, I would say she's somebody who probably practiced this one enough and was very smart about her own pacing because she can move a barbell well. And if she'd stayed just calm enough on that run that she moved that barbell 20 seconds faster than everyone else, you can slow down 20 seconds fast on that run. And like she ran that race correctly.
And she went touch and go at the end as well.
Yeah,
So then we moved to the men. I think everybody knew this was going to be the rivalry match between Roman and Jeff. Another long run. What was going to happen? And Jeff Adler made a statement.
He sure did.
The lead just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger with every run. And I would say they were pretty even on the clean and jerks.
Yeah.
But you'd come back the first one and Jeff was ahead by one side of the square. Then he was ahead by 2 sides of the square. Then he was ahead by 3 sides of the square. It was almost methodical.
Mm-hmm. I would like to see Jeff splits.
Yeah. And you got to see him outside up that hill around the corner. He never looked like he was tired.
Not really. I would say he was a little more labored on his final run up the hill, but not nearly the way I saw. There were a lot of people who were hunched way over, pushing off their thighs, basically walking up the hill. And those were the people that you're like, oh no, like they have imploded. But yeah, Jeff looked great.
The other thing was the race for third place was crazy.
Holy smokes. This is where the barbell mattered.
Yeah. There were 4 guys all at the same time. It was Saxon Panchek, Will Morad, Jason Hopper, all going at the same time, and it was nuts. And the crowd was going crazy. And there was a crowd.
It's a pretty good crowd in there for a Friday. I mean, I anticipate it'll be even louder in there tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely one side of the venue is more full than the other.
Hatfield, yeah.
Yeah, Hatfield was in that. The only person that called Hatfield that high, Kenneth, was John Young. I think he called Hatfield to win all 6 events. And be the next CrossFit Games champion, I think is what he said last night. Denise Moore says, it's too bad the runs are all so different. Between all the semi-locations, it would be interesting to be able to compare how everybody did an event 1 across the entire leaderboard. I think it's fun that they're different.
There's positives and negatives. I totally agree. It would be nice to be able to compare. But it's other than doing shuttles or using an air runner, you can't. They cannot be identical. And I much prefer this alternative to shuttles or an air runner. So
the race between Emma Lawson, Caroline Stanley, and Danielle Brandon was amazing. The race between Saxon, Will Morad, Jason Hopper, and Austin Hatfield was amazing. And we would not have seen that on an air runner.
Right. There's something to the tracking someone down on a run course. Like, that's just exciting.
No, Kenneth, none of the chants today.
Somebody did yell during the run.
But no chants, no
chants in the stadium. During the run, there was some "do it for Trump" or I don't know, like while Taylor was running by.
So let's talk about Taylor. He wins heat 1, and again, the difference between heat 1 and heat 2 was monumental.
Yeah, I mean he's 11th.
11th.
It's kind of a similar story to the women, even more so. It's crazy. It's just crazy how much faster. I don't know. Again, same thing. I don't know how much faster Taylor could have gone. I feel like he was at his limit.
I don't know what Taylor's limit is because I've seen him push past it.
I feel like he was right there.
But you just never know. Every competitor asked, would you rather have more rest or be in the top heat? And every competitor said, yes, I want to be in the top heat. Give up the rest. You want to be able to know what you have to beat. And he had no clue. And on the last lap, he stretched his lead so big, he did not have to push to win that heat at the end.
I don't think he could have moved he didn't touch and go because I don't think he could. So I don't know that being in the other heat would have helped him.
Saxon Panchek moved so fast on that touch and go. And he went from like 6th to 3rd. Like he was the last one in, first one done.
Yep.
In that group. It was amazing. Will Morad was right with him.
Mm-hmm.
The old man still has some chops. And speaking of old men, Ben Smith ran pretty well. He was in that slower heat, but it was funny. I was sitting beside Coach Krispy Kreme, and he said, you telling me that young boy Nate Ackerman's going to let Dad Bod Shuffle pass him? He sure did. So Taylor moves up to the third heat tomorrow.
Right. They'll reseed for tomorrow.
So, and he'll have the center lane.
Yep.
Because he'll be in 11th. And then if he can make a move, they'll reseed again for Sunday. They reseed again after the 4th event, but they do not reseed after the 5th event. Still don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
But it was crazy fun in the venue tonight with those two races. So let's talk about some teams. Their second event was the big lift. It was the barbell complex by each team member that they did at semifinals in 2022. 2022.
Yeah,
21 was the max snatch to start the weekend. 2022 was the barbell complex.
Yeah.
So, people love a big bar. They got to see a couple of them. Tolo Morakinyo led the men with a 345 pound complex.
Mm-hmm.
Did not look like he had to push too hard to get it. And looked really good and put it up pretty easy. I think Noah complimented that with a 315.
Yeah.
And then the women didn't really have to do much after that. They ended up winning that event. Ocean State something. That's the Christine Best, Christine Middleton team. They came in second because Christine Middleton is a boss with a barbell with 245 pound complex, tying Hannah Black's record from West Coast Classic.
Yeah, she made that look easy. We saw at least one other woman. There may have been two other women try that 245. The Mayhem. I cannot think of her name right now off the top of my head. But yeah, the Liberty team, she tried 245 and missed the jerk right at the end.
Yeah, someone right after Middleton tried in her lane on the far side. I got video of it, but she missed the jerk as well.
Yep.
So a couple people went for it. Middleton went for 250.
Oh, did she?
She did. Did not make the jerk.
Okay.
I take that back. She missed the clean. I think she was spent. She had to go back too quick. And it just was. She did like 2 cleans on the third clean. She just let it kind of roll.
Rebecca Devine. Sorry, that's the name. That's who failed on that clean. Or the jerk at the end.
Yeah. So many people got to the jerk.
I know.
Missed.
All that
Expend
work.
all that energy with 3 cleans, 2 front squats, and then miss the jerk.
I mean, that's what happens when you do all that work. You're a little bit tired.
Yeah. So, really awesome there. Fun to see that. The only thing I hate about everybody going at once, it's just a cluster on the floor, and no broadcast is going to clean that up. You couldn't see the weights on the plaques.
Mm-hmm.
It was just tough. Now I think what they tried to do this week is fix the broadcast so everybody was facing the camera, but the only people sitting there are friends and family. So everybody else got a side view with the way this arena is set up. So the spectators in the house didn't get a view of like the weight placards and that to be able to kind of tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the alternative is to do the 20-second lift portion and rotate around the floor, and that takes forever. So it is what it is. I mean, if you're gonna throw a lift in, this is probably how I want to see it. Kenneth, attendance was pretty good, I would say. For a Friday, I think it was pretty busy in there. I anticipate it's going to be not a full house. I mean, it's a huge stadium, but I think seats are going to be pretty packed.
So what they did that's super smart, and why Wilson Pack is so good at this, they roped off the upper section until the lower section filled. So they made everybody sit the way you, so it's all elevated seating, and there's a lower bowl that's what, 10, 15 rows?
Yeah.
And it goes all the way down one side and all the way down the other. They roped off all of the seats above that until those filled. So that got pretty full. And on our side, that got full enough where they opened up the upper section, and then that began to fill as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was actually really good for a Friday.
Yeah.
Really good because traditionally people are working on Friday, and the whole event was over before 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was out, everybody was heading home before work hours were over. So I think that makes pretty good sense. And I liked doing that because then on the broadcast, the cameras usually only catch the lower seats.
Right.
So when you catch the lower seats, it does appear to be way more full.
Yep.
And I do believe there were way more people here than there were at West Coast. Now we'll see tomorrow, 2 individual events tomorrow, 2 team events tomorrow. It's a Saturday. Nobody's working. We'll see. But we walked through Vendor Village twice. That looked pretty full too.
Mm-hmm. That's where the community event is going on.
And they plopped that right in the middle of Vendor Village, which was so smart because all the people that are watching can walk through Vendor Village. They're buying their protein cereals. They're checking out the 2 Pood belts, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah. So then we go to the final event for teams, and that is where the
just
heat,
like the individual.
Yeah, it was their version of the run clean and jerk, only it was run and worm thrusters.
Yes.
So with that, well, Lynn says tomorrow is going to be packed. Vendor Village already has some stuff sold out for Northern Spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, Vendor Village was packed every time we went through.
Yep.
Usually like Fit Aid is putting out tubs of extras that they give away. They had 5 cans left when we walked by.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So this one was the run worm thruster. 2 of your team members leave. 20 seconds later, the other 2 members leave. And then you cannot work the worm until everybody's back. 8th day CrossFit was in the first heat.
Yep. Again, obviously.
Set the time to beat. They beat everybody in their heat by a couple minutes. Like they were done. They were getting their picture taken. Their family was down there taking their pictures on the finish line. They were posing, doing all the stuff before the next team finished.
Yep.
They beat everybody in the second heat.
Yep. What? Yeah.
Then the third heat comes, and Peak 360 and Mayhem Independence were pretty dominant in that final heat. And it came down to between Peak 360, Mayhem Independence, and 8th day from the first heat. It was 7 seconds from third to second, and like another 10 seconds to first. And 8th day didn't get to run their race with those 2 others.
Right.
And they took another second today.
They took second in the first event.
Yeah.
From the first heat.
So no reseed. So they're stuck in heat 1, even though they took a second. They did really well in the lift.
Yep.
So they should be in the top heat. And because they weren't, there was no reseed today. They had to run that race all by themselves.
Yeah.
And it was a shame because that would have been so much fun to watch. 3 teams battling it out on those worm thrusters to see who won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have liked to seen them push. I think they probably had more in them. I would have liked to seen them push 360 and possibly see them not win an event. Like, I feel like that was the workout for them not to get a win, and just didn't line up that way.
So let me ask you this. With the way that is designed, you're pretty much at the will of your slowest runner.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even really matter about the first runners.
Nope. Well, we saw there was a team where the girl would basically sprint out, get ahead of everybody, come in first, and just stand at a worm and recover
for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Waiting for the other three to get back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had a bad look. And I know that no rule says you can't do that. But I think I like the rope runs.
Yeah.
Where you all have to hold a piece of the rope and kind of run together. It adds some synchronicity to it. It adds, maybe you can pull the one person. Maybe you're not a good slow down runner. Like it just affects the whole, the whole team a lot more. But I do think the biggest crime was 8th day not getting a chance to run with the big guys.
Totally agree. But they're crushing it. Out of the first heat, they're in third at the end of the day. 2 events to go tomorrow. I'm liking their shot. That shout out. That's my Michigan team. So shout out to
Peak 360 is killing it.
They are killing it.
They have swept the 3 events. The synchronicity is so good with that team. And you could tell that it was Tola and Lena and Noah and Mathilde ran together, and they were not going to leave each other's side during the run. And then it turned out for the last 3 rounds, they all 4 pretty much came in together.
Yeah. Yeah. They did a great job staying together, which if you anticipate down the road there being a rope run of some sort or having us together, you might as well work on that too, because Denise's or Lynn is right. Some good runners get more tired running at a slow pace. I mean, it throws off the cadence of your footwork. 100% agree.
Just to let everybody know, Jamie informed me that if she was doing this, she would have run as fast as that girl did and get back and sit down on her lawn chair waiting for her team to get back so she could get some rest.
Yeah, because I don't like thrusters. I would have needed a break.
She's without apology. She was like, that would be me.
Yeah, so I understood that girl for sure.
Yeah. Lynn says in Peak 360, we're running together the whole time. Even held each other's elbows to maintain pace after the first 2 rounds.
They did.
Yeah, we were talking about this because Noah, oftentimes up the ramp, would have his hand on the back of Mathilde.
Or
Tola, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one time he pushed Tola.
Yeah.
Like I saw him physically push him. Let's go. But with Mathilde, it was a much more gentle, like, hey, I'm here. I got you. Let's get this. It was really kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
That they work that well together as a team. And man, were they happy afterwards today.
I mean, it's fun to win.
It is. So we come tomorrow with the final 2 team events.
Yep.
They will take the podium tomorrow night. We then have our next 2 individual events. Let's give our shot caller picks, which I haven't even made yet.
Oh, goodness.
You're the one that brought up this idea.
All right. So event 2.
See how she does me,
we
people?
got the double under toe to bar front squat, 5 rounds. I want to not pick Tia, so I'm trying to rack my brain for who I threw second in there.
Did Jamie end up getting to do the 3D comp? Well, I will tell you this. We got back from the airport last night, well after midnight.
That's true.
Because of the musty air, I snored like a savage. So she may have gotten 3 hours sleep.
Yeah, I'm not even that tired right now. I'll probably be tired tomorrow. Maybe I'll sleep really good tonight. I was looking to Ken. I was trying to find a partner. So this morning was the individual, which I would have been willing to do, but I didn't want to reserve a spot for that because honestly, I wasn't sure when I could get here. And like my flight got delayed, so probably a good thing I didn't pick that one. I was trying to find a partner, a male partner, to do Sunday's community event. It's male female partner workout, and nobody wants to work out with me, so I don't know. Scott said hell no, and literally, I mean, I made a post. Nobody wants to work out with me.
Dang.
Event 2, Travis.
Event 2, Travis.
He'll be good at that. He does have one of the fastest cycle rate on double unders, and being smooth there. Like I can see him not really having any trips and gaining seconds there, but it's kind of a toe to bar workout. I think men-wise, I think Hatfield's going to do well. And I can see Taylor doing well.
I don't like the squats on Taylor's knee.
Yeah, but like Tristan said when you had him on, I mean, had he got what, third, fourth in that workout by doing 6-4 a couple rounds, like Taylor doesn't, and I don't know if that's going to hold true with the men's crowd, but I don't know that he has to squat blazingly fast to be top 6 in this workout.
True. But we're picking the winner.
Okay.
So I am between Austin Hatfield and Will Morad.
Yeah. So, sure. Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Colton, right? Like the shorter levers are going to have a huge advantage in this one. And if you can move that weight quickly, Jack Rosema could do good.
He could. I don't know what his toes to bar are like.
Yeah.
Will Morad's a veteran. He just isn't going to make mistakes. He's not going to make mistakes on the dubs. He's going to be fine on the front squat. Guy's a powerhouse, and that amount of toes to bar for him will be nothing.
It's a good call.
And he looked so good today that it
so good.
gives me confidence going into 2, which is probably where I'll make my mistake.
I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna say Saxon.
I thought about him. It's just the range of motion worries me on the front squats.
I feel like he's a pretty fast squatter.
Okay.
But okay.
Honestly, I'm thinking when you say that, he squats below depth.
So yeah,
that
overdoing it. Hey, maybe they'll be really strict and some people won't be, and there'll be some no ropes on the floor and go to his favor. So ladies, I think Fee could do really well at this one, and I think she needs to have a good event.
My dark horse for this is Annika Greer.
Yeah, great pick. Great pick.
She needs it.
Mm-hmm.
She is a fast squatter.
Yep, that's a great pick.
She's really good at toes to bar, and she's really good at double unders.
Yep.
But I mean, good gravy. Like if you're not picking Tia for everything at this point, you're just.
Yeah, to be fair, I have Tia in Heat 1, so I'm just trying to give alternatives. Like throw out some top 3s or 5s.
I think Emma Lawson is an interesting look here too.
Yeah. I don't know that she's the fastest squatter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I almost wish Tyler would bring back the cap of
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about that a little bit.
Especially in a Tia case.
Yep.
And I think I'm already going to lose the prop bet. She's winning more than 2 events this weekend.
I think I wrote 3. Maybe I wrote 4. I don't remember. I did not write 5. I know that.
I picked 2.
I may have done 4. I picked her for 3 in Heat 1. I picked Haley for the first event just so I had someone to root for. And when I can, I like to try to pick someone other than Tia. All right.
So I picked, just so you know,
Okay.
I did pick Jeff and Tia for event 1.
Same.
Because
I picked Haley and Jeff.
So I told you last week, I'm done with these wild, outlandish.
Yes.
I think I know something.
Yeah.
Going to be smarter. I got to beat Lex. So there it is. I think DB's range of motion is just so long.
Yeah. I think she'll
She'll
great,
be fine.
Top 7, 8 easily. But I don't know if I'd pick her for a top 3.
Kenneth picked Pepper for the first
goodness
event, so it's someone to root for. Yeah.
Oh, Ken.
Dallin did good for Dallin.
Dallin did good for Dallin.
He did. He's just not going to do well against Roman or Jeff. What did you tell me before we went on the air?
I don't know. What did I say?
You said Roman and Jeff won by over a minute.
Oh, yeah. Roman and Jeff by like a minute and Tia and Haley by like a minute. It was, those 2 athletes were in their own class. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So then we go to the rope climb event, right?
Yeah.
Rope climb event with echo bike, rope climb, box jump overs, rope climb, and then start over again.
Yeah.
6 3/4 rounds.
Yes.
Of that. Who you got for the men?
I'm trying to think who I put in my Heat 1. I may have put Hopper in this one. In Heat 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. See, this is the one I'd want to pick Saxon on. He is an amazing rope climber. He is an amazing box jumper. I don't think he has enough on the echo bike to keep up with Dallin, Hopper,
right,
Roman, Jeff. Yeah. So my pick for this one on the men will be Roman.
Okay.
And you know that takes a lot for me to say that.
I pick Ken. I think Taylor's a fine pick. I don't know that. I don't think if I'm being completely honest, I don't think he can win it, but I think it's an okay pick.
I think it's the same problem with Saxon. That Taylor on the echo bike, I think he's good, but there are guys in this region that are on another level on that echo bike.
I see Lynn and Ken talked about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right.
After we're done with this.
All right. So, ladies. I mean, it's Tia, but other than that,
again, I think if the echo bike's not there, Haley could get her. Haley's great on the rope. That box is going to be nothing for her and her height.
I don't know. I mean,
but the echo bike makes Tia the winner.
I think there's other people that would even beat Haley in a legless rope climb workout. But yeah, that bike is going to throw a wrench into this workout for those people, like Shelby, Neil, like a Fee. Like, that's a lot for them to overcome.
It is. Now, Fee, according to Kenneth,
Likes this one. Yeah.
Said that this is the one she would pick for herself.
I love that. I love that. I think Emma will do really well. She'll be right up there.
Yeah.
Should be a good event for Alexis.
Yeah. Maybe that's who my non-Tia pick would be, is Alexis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, because we could be boring and tell you Tia for everything, and that isn't fun at all. So my non-Tia pick is Alexis Raptis.
Yep.
And hopefully you can still hear us. My indicator is that our Wi-Fi here in the hotel is not at optimal levels.
Damn Best Western.
So hopefully you can still get this broadcast. So let's talk about the disappointments from today. On the men's side, it's already been brought up. Jack Farlow came in with all this promise. Still has a chance. This does not take him out of the running by any stretch of the matter. But man, he looked rough after that event.
He sure did.
Medical had to help him off the floor. It just was. Hopefully, it's just cramps and a little dehydration. But he looked really fatigued.
It's not even that warm out.
It's not. And maybe it's the shock from going 32 degrees inside the arena to 70 degrees outside the arena.
It is freezing inside.
Hold the mic to your mouth.
It is freezing inside.
Yeah, it is so cold. I am never, ever cold. I was freezing today. Freezing. So maybe that's it. It was a shock. Our very own Carolyn Prevost seemed to have hobbled up with a cramp at the very end as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she was helped off by medical, hoping that it was just cramps. Hopefully she's back better than ever tomorrow and doing her thing. And Kenneth, I did not shave. I just trimmed it up because it was getting a little bushy. I wanted, if I'm coming back to semis in person, I wanted to be presentable. So there's that. A couple other disappointments for me today. I was really hoping Annika's run had improved in the off season. Didn't seem to come to fruition today. That was a bummer. I don't know. I think
probably it for me.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
There was a crazy thing that happened where one of the teams had a member pass out twice.
Yeah.
Once in event 1 and once in event 2. Passed out in event 1, came to in time to finish the workout. Then passed out after the lift. But then was their best runner on the last event. So who knows? Kenneth wants Prevost to win everything. We all do.
Yeah.
It might be, it's a hard field to show improvement in because the field is crazy. It is.
That's fair.
And actually, when you look at the leaderboard, she wasn't as, even Jack, because of the speed of that heat, wasn't last.
Yeah.
Like he was 33rd or 34th.
Yeah. I think that's the people who get caught up in that race, and it's just too fast of a pace for them. And Yeah, they redlined. Even in teams, you saw people it's a lot of volume for the teams today. And you could see the leg fatigue on some of those people. I mean, having to walk, hobbling, like they look miserable.
Kenneth said, I know it's not the same run, but top times in the East destroyed the West.
Well, you got to look at the third time because like we said, both the men and women, the top two were a minute ahead of the competition. So I would look at the third time of East.
Saxon and
Emma.
Yeah, I thought Caroline Stanley got her.
Fourth. Caroline was fourth.
Okay. Yeah, because I will take Tia, Haley, Roman, and Jeff in any run race in the world, straight up. Mm-hmm. No matter what stairs, hill is involved, I'm taking those four to be the top two in each side.
Right.
And I already apologize, Emily Rolfe. I just realized what I'd done again. I don't know if I ever shared that on here.
I was going to.
But last week, I had called Emily White to beat Emily Rolfe on the Heat 1 app at West Coast. And Emily Rolfe called me out on that and said, you picked the wrong Emily.
Yeah, sure did.
And I sure did. Kenneth says Lawson was third, just creeping in the shadows, waiting to pounce.
Yep. She looked good. She looked smooth.
Yeah. And then there's a point I overheard some coaches saying, like, you don't need to push it here. Like,
well, yeah. What did it matter if she was?
You're not going to gain any points on the two of them, right?
The minute behind was fine. It didn't matter.
Yeah. So take your time. Don't overexert it. Take your third. Because even going touch and go, you're still third.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's everything from today.
Yep.
Wishing Carolyn all the best. Hopefully we see her back on the floor tomorrow.
Crushing it.
And hopefully Jack Farlow's back better than ever. And all of that. So it's the first live competition of the game season. Athletes want to show out.
Yeah, Tia sure did.
I think Tia wanted to make a statement.
Yep.
I think other athletes are here with a goal of doing something at the games, and they're not trying to show out. I think there are different mindsets. That is not Tia's. I think Tia's here to destroy everybody by as much. I think she was getting annoyed that this blonde girl was right behind her the entire race and wanted to go big baller at the end and make a statement.
Yeah.
So, well, with that, guys, thanks for jumping on with us. We'll be back at it tomorrow, throwing out some content. Hopefully this time I remember my camera battery so that I can actually use the new camera I bought instead of my iPhone 15. But there we go. And Kenneth says, Tia is Matt, but turned up to 11. And we are the original Thursday, Friday, Sunday night CrossFit talk show. With that, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody, and see you tomorrow.